Austria that we discussed earlier. In Austria, you would see that you have companies that have 100 people, 60 people, and they're valued at $1 billion. The reason why they are large companies is because they focus on intellectual capital or innovation premium. What we need to stop thinking about is the India model, where we feel like we need to throw people at that, and you know what, we need to grow large. What we need to focus on is the intellectual side, the innovation side, because that side has a premium, right? So that's one of the other narratives that we have, sort of like a hypothesis that we have, that we need to follow a model where we have smaller companies building highly valuable things. And I think one of the most integral things that happened, and this is when we went to Rana Saab, was as we call it, a DeepSeek moment, right? So I think let's think about this. We are a small country. We can't afford to put up a $600 billion of cloud compute. Even our economy is not that size, right? So we can't compete on the large language side. So just because everybody else is doing large language models, the question is whether that is something that we should be doing, right? And our hypothesis or our opinion is that we should follow what essentially China did, which is that focus on machine learning techniques rather than going after the compute and the data and all of that, right? What we think we can create a sort of like a competitive advantage for Pakistan as a nation is that we can work on the intellectual side of AI. That's what DeepSeek was. DeepSeek is not just a Chinese large language model. The most important part about DeepSeek was that they built a model for $6 million that OpenAI spent around $40 billion to build. That's the important part about DeepSeek. What's really important about DeepSeek is that they did not have the amount of GPUs or the compute that OpenAI has. What they had were people who were very smart, who came up with the techniques like chain of thought, mixture of expert, reinforcement learning. They used those techniques to build the same type of model that outperformed OpenAI. I feel like that based on the resources that Pakistan has, or rather the scarcity of resources that Pakistan has, we have to choose our battle very carefully. Our battle has to be people-oriented, not machine-oriented or compute-oriented.